little update before I start. I haven't recorded videos in about 3 months, okay? Because for those who don't know, all the videos that I posted recently, they were all recorded in March and I just scheduled them. And yeah, so now I'm doing another batch of videos. So if you have any suggestions or you want to see anything on my channel, this is the perfect time to ask so I can batch record and add it to one of my topics. But yeah, let's get right into it. Today, I want to talk about the pedestal because I feel like a lot of people they think this is like a way to social climb or some weird thing like that. But the higher your pedestal, the faster you attract sociopath. So I feel like I had to make a video to counter these points because I think it's weird that we do that. Like, just think of the lizard whiz, right? She thought she was untouchable, but turns out since she's on a pedestal, right? She attracted someone with an inferiority complex, which is naturally what's gonna happen because if you see yourself so much higher than others, there's bond for someone to see that highness of yours, which is not a good thing. We'll get into that, but it's not a good thing, guys, because that means by default you'll attract someone that's lower than you or someone that sees you better than them. Okay, and I'll get into the details for that, but you never want to put yourself on a pedestal. That is weird, and that's how you're gonna attract sociopaths in weird situations. So just to add information on that, if you have a pedestal, be ready for people to dehumanize you because people to relate with you, they have to see you as human, right? So if you're unrelatable and you want to be treated like a queen or whatever, right? The people that are going to be around you are minions. They're followers. They're not going to be people on your level. They're not going to be people you can relate and bond with. They're going to be people below you with inferiority complexes because they have to be inferior to see you as higher than them. Does that make sense? Because if no one feels inferior to you, there's no pedestal. So now, if someone is inferior to you, how do you think that makes them feel? At the start, it might be like, oh, she's a queen, blah, blah. But over time, that's going to build resentment and fixation, right? Because imagine you're around someone that's so much better than you all the freaking time. And you think they're on a pedestal, right? It's like dehumanizing again. So you think whatever they have is unreachable. She's untouchable. But now, that creates a power imbalance in your relationships, especially if you have a boyfriend that sees you that way. That is super dangerous. And I'm just being so for real. I can't picture a healthy man loving the wizard Liz. And this is not me trying to be mean to her, crushing her dreams, whatever. I'm just saying, if you put yourself and you're a queen and this man will serve me and he will buy me things and he will do that. If you talk like that, any healthy man will never look your way. Never. I promise you, that's not how it works. You think someone healthy is going to be like, oh yeah, okay, I'll go buy her some bags. Yeah. No, that sounds like a loser, right? And she attracted a loser. She attracted her match, if you ask me. And another important factor is people with inferiority complexes, they're addicted to feeling less than. So they fish for approval, and that drains energy. So imagine being with someone, like let's say you're so much better, you're on a pedestal, right? You're with someone next to you that feels less than you because clearly you're on a pedestal for a reason. It's not because they feel equal to you. So they're going to fish for your energy, your approval, and everything all the time. Do you know how it feels to be with someone that's insecure? Whenever they're next to you, there's something wrong or they didn't do this right. There's always something. And it's draining to hear them talk, right? So what ends up happening is when you're next to someone, and I mean, those are people that don't have their ego in check, obviously, but generally, people that are with people that are losers, it stroke their ego because they feel so much better than them. And then the people that feel like losers next to the people with pedestals, their empathy shrinks because they feel like you deserve less empathy. Because if you're pretty and you got it all, you have a man that takes care of you, people, they get less empathy for you because you have it all. But if you have nothing, they have more empathy. So what I'm trying to say is, when you're with losers, your ego increases because you're doing so much better than the people around you. And then the people that are around you that feel less than, they have no empathy for you. So, and I've been around these kind of people, and I'm not saying I'm on a pedestal in any way. I don't want people to think that. Even on my YouTube channel, I don't want you guys to see me as like an authority figure or anything like that. I'm just a girl recording videos at the end of the day, right? But I've been around people that feel like they're inferior. Like, I feel like I'm on the zero line, right? And there's people that are in the negative, and it's not because I'm higher than them. It's not because I think I'm on a 3, 5, like I'm above the positive. I'm just on a 0. I feel neutral about myself. I'm content, right? But there's people that when I'm around them, I have to downplay my wins all the time. And sometimes I literally, I don't make up things because I'm not really a liar, but I would like change events in the stories I would say, so it would make me look like smaller to make them feel comfortable. Because I had a girl in my life that if I said anything, I was flexing, I was being a health guru, like, and I'm talking like, if I was trying to do my 10,000 steps in a day and she was around me, she would make sure I feel bad about it, that type of thing. So sometimes I would not do my 10,000 steps when she was around. You see what I mean? So that's another thing. So if you're on a pedestal and you're with losers all the time, you'll feel bad for having losers around you. Just picture like you're going out with your friends and you have your cute outfit on and your friend is never put together. You're gonna try to like downgrade your outfits a little bit just to make her feel less bad, right? I'm not saying you should do that. It's just something that's definitely going to occur to you to do just to make them feel more comfortable, right? So imagine you have to do that with your personality. If you surround yourself with losers, you're going to end up being another loser, right? And okay, this is another thing that they don't talk about enough. When you have a strong ego, people can see that, right? It's not something that's like, oh, you're not sure. Like everybody knows that Lizard Wiz has an insanely huge ego. And you know what happens when that happens? The healthy people walk away. They just don't entertain this. But predators, they spot that. And when you have a huge ego, it's a vulnerability. So when people see it, they know they can take advantage of you. And an easy way to do that is to mirror the admiration. Because when someone has a huge ego and they're so proud of something, like, it's okay to be proud of something, obviously. I feel like I have to state the obvious sometimes. But when some people have ego and they're so full of themselves, tell them exactly what they want to hear and they'll love you forever. Because you're stroking their ego. So you can do that with anybody with a huge ego. If you want to be on their good side, just tell them exactly what they want to hear. Tell them what they say about themselves or what you think they think about themselves. So just think of a girl that's like, I don't want to say those terms, but mid. She's just average, right? And she thinks she's the hottest, she's the best and everything, right? Tell her exactly she's the hottest because that's what she thinks. It's going to stroke her ego. You're going to win her over just like that. It's that easy. And again, I have to bring this up again because this whole video was kind of inspired by the Lizard Liz, sorry. But Landon, he basically mirrored everything she wanted to hear. He told her exactly what she wanted to hear. He saw her videos and he knew exactly what she wanted. She wanted bags. She wanted expensive things. And man, that's pretty much all she wanted. So that was a quality man for her. And also I'm going to record another video about what a quality man is. Because I think a lot of women, they take advice from sugar baby gurus, right? So they think that if a man pays for everything, that's all it takes. That couldn't be further from the truth, obviously. But yeah, so I'm gonna get into that in another video. But anyways, once they get your trust from you, all they have to do is compete with you and then sabotage you or exploit you. And that's exactly what Landon did. She basically gave him an opportunity on a silver platter. She fell for exactly what she says not to fall for. He mirrored her everything. Like, oh my god. And I made a video about this, right? How like manipulators, they're people that are undesirable, so they have to manipulate to convince people to keep them around. But this is like the most basic manipulation tactic. If you read the 48 Laws of Power, which by the way, that's another thing. I've noticed a lot of YouTubers are saying they use those laws. If you hear that, run the other direction. That's a sociopath. Even the author of this book says you should only use this to spot people trying to take advantage of you. This is not supposed to be used against people. That makes you a sociopath. Like, I don't know what to say. This is like, it's crazy that people are using it and they're open about using them. Well, I use it all the time. Yeah, okay. So you're not treating other humans like humans. You're just using them to your advantage and stuff like that. That is, ew, red flag. No, that's a red flag. But yes, all that to say is humility is going to be your armor against predators. If you have a huge ego, you will have the craziest boyfriends, the craziest friends, because all they're going to do is stroke your ego and they're going to be in your circle. Do you know how easy it is to access people like that? If I wanted to be in the circle of someone I really admire, and all I had to do is stroke their ego to be in their circle, first, that should tell you everything you need to know. That's a weak person. You can just stroke their ego and be in their circle like that? It's that easy? Clearly there's something wrong. Like that's too easy. But if that's all it takes, then they're easy to exploit, right? So yeah, you want to tame your ego. There's a lot of books about taming your ego, so that's definitely something to look into. But yes, humility is important, guys. And also, I think a lot of people, they think their ego is confidence. No. Confidence is when you're like, oh, I'm valuable. Ego is, I'm superior. That's the difference. And a lot of people, like for me, I think I'm confident because I've accomplished a lot of things and I'm proud of those things. But I still feel like I'm at a 0. Like, there's like a scale of like, let's say positive 10, and positive 10 would be like super ego, and minus 10 would be like underconfident, like you think you're ain't shit or something, right? And then 0, I think, is just confident. Obviously, I'm probably not exactly 0 to me. That's just how I perceive myself. If I ask someone else, they probably say, oh, a 2 or minus 1, something like that, right? But I think I'm pretty, I try at least to keep it really balanced, because I don't want to go through my life thinking I'm superior. I have the same fate as everybody else. I'm going to die. I'm going to lose everything I have. And everything I own does not define me. And to the people that it defines me, like if someone wants to be in my life because of the things I have, it's not someone I want in my life, right? I don't want people to be my friend because of the skill set that I have. I don't want people to be my friend because of the things that I own. I don't want people to like me for external things that I have. Because clearly it means that they have motives, they're there for their own benefit, and I'm fine with people being there to a certain level that, like, be helpful, right? That makes sense. Like, do your own part. Like, for example, with my boyfriend, if he pays the bills, for me it makes sense to cook. It makes sense to clean and stuff like that, because we're helping each other out. It's like, at the end of the day, it's a union, and we help each other out, but I'm not doing that because I'm not cleaning and all that just so he can pay the bills, right? He would do it by himself without me having to ask, and I'm cleaning without him having to ask, right? But a lot of people, they're really there for their transaction value. If that goes away, they won't like you anymore. If I stop cleaning one day, or I get ugly for some reason, or like, for example, pregnancy, that's actually a big fear that people have, is they get pregnant and then they get ugly after, and then their man leaves them. I've heard that so many times. But if you have a good man, he's not going to do that, because he's not just there for your beauty. He's there for your internal. Your external, what you have to offer, is an addition. The problem is, most people, the external is the number one thing, and then the internal is the secondary thing. But your internal should be your first thing, and then the external thing should be extra. And that's, oh my god, I feel like when I talk about certain subjects, it brings me to other subjects. But for example, I hear a lot of ladies say that they have a type physically. No, that's how you narrow down your dating experience by so much. You should have a type for the internal things that they have. Your internal character, not the external factors. Externally, yes, he should take care of his hygiene. He should look put together. Like, obviously not a whole mess. Those are important. But if you're saying, I'm only gonna date white guys, I'm only gonna date black guys, if you're narrowing it down, like, oh, he's only 6 feet, good luck. Honestly, if you care about those kind of shallow things, don't be surprised if you get a boyfriend that cares about those shallow things, and if you lose that thing that he likes about you and he leaves you, don't be surprised. You're just not his type anymore, right? So, yeah. No, I strongly advise against this every time. And the big difference between confidence and ego, one easy way to know is your confidence is meant to uplift you, just yourself. If you have ego, your quote-unquote confidence, it comes from the idea of downgrading others. So if you're confident because people around you have no value, then you know it's ego. If it's confident because of things you have accomplished, things you feel great about, and you're not comparing yourself to others, you're just like, technically, like, I'm not saying you should be confident from that, but technically there's people out there that just brushing their teeth in the morning because they were in depression their whole life, and just brushing their teeth in the morning today gave them confidence. They're like, okay, if I can do that, what else can I do? That's how you should see it. You should not see it as, well, I do that and others don't do it, then I'm better than them. No, that's ego. That's ego. And that's an easy thing to fall for. And I think a lot of people my age, like Gen Z, they have a huge ego. And it's not confident that they have, because you can see, like, sometimes they'll vlog something and then they're super confident, they're full of themselves, like they're feeling themselves, I mean. And then the next video, they're breaking down and it's like, you can tell that their ego got shattered by something. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like we have an ego problem today. We have a anxiety, narcissism, and ego issue going on. But yeah. And also, this is why I'm a big advocate for affirmations, because affirmations, your reality is based on your perspective of your life. So if you do affirmations, positive self-talk, anything internal, that will reflect on your external. And someone that you know has a toxic ego, they're always broadcasting the reasons why they're better than others. If you want real power, it'll never come from a pedestal, ever. Because if you want all your minions to be losers, go for it. Go for your pedestal, okay? If you want real power, you want people that respect you, people on your level or even better, be of service, be competent, like be someone. And I think that's something that also my generation struggles with. They want a boyfriend that does this, and then you ask them, what do you do? And I hate having this question because they get triggered, usually because they're like, what do I bring to the table? No, really, what do you bring to the table? Some people are just losers. They watch stuff all day, they don't exercise, they do takeout and they don't eat well, they have no friends. You have really nothing going on, you have nothing appealing. And it's sad to say, it's just, how can you be like that and then expect a boyfriend that will come save you, come pay all your bills, when if he did that, you'd probably be dead weight. So I think it's really important to be of service to people. Not only is like super fulfilling to do that, but also you'll feel good about it. You'll sleep tonight knowing you did something great for someone. And all those little things you did for other people, that will stay when you pass. All the things that you did for yourself, and I'm not against doing things for yourself, because I have to say this because I have to state the obvious sometimes. But I'm just saying, what you do for others will give you 10 times more fulfillment. And I always give this example in my videos that, yes, you can buy your own pack of gum. But if someone buys you a pack of gum and you didn't ask, and they just, hey, here you go, I thought about you and I got you that. Even though it's $1, like a little pack of gum, it's simple like that, it means so much more when it comes from someone else. And it's like, oh, that's another thing that reminds me of. Like, for example, I went shopping with my boyfriend and he got me a Lululemon Defined jacket. And that jacket, I love that jacket. But I have other, like, I want to say 6 other jackets or something. But they don't mean the same as the Lulu jacket that he got me. So I can do things for myself all the time. It just won't have as much meaning as if someone did it for me. And obviously, if it feels good because they did it for me, I'm going to do it for others because it's just a nice thing to do. And also doing things for others without expecting anything back, whew, that is like, that's beautiful, honestly. That's sexy. If you want to like be of service to people, it's really sexy, really. Like sometimes, and I remember when I was growing up and I was in survival mode and people would do things for me and I was like, you don't have to do this. Why are you doing this for me? You're getting nothing out of this. Because I was like, I felt like at the time when I was in survival mode, doing things for others meant losing at my own detriment. Because, for example, and I think I've said this example before, but me growing up, if I gave $20 for someone's birthday as a kid, it meant like I might miss out on a meal or two, right? That's what it meant for me. And that was uncomfortable, obviously. So doing things for others, it was not even on my radar. But now today, I can afford to do that. So, and I think that's the beauty of things, right? You can do things for others just because. You don't have any reason. That's the beauty of it, right? not having a reason to do something for someone, that's beautiful. I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting across properly right now, but I just feel like that's so beautiful. Like, you don't have to do anything. You chose to, right? That's beautiful. But yeah, back to the video. If you have a huge ego and not confidence, another thing you might fall for is yes men around you. If you have yes men around you, or yes women, I guess, I don't know. If you have those around you, that's a huge sign that you have a huge ego. People that walk on eggshells, they tell you exactly what you want to hear, is because they know your ego is really fragile and it may break any moment. So, and another thing they don't think of, people on their pedestal, they're often like blinded by red flags. Like the lizard Wiz, she thought she deserved all that. Nothing can ever happen to her. She's untouchable, right? She had that mindset. So all the red flags that were super obvious, even from looking at her videos, you didn't even have to be in the presence of Landon to know he was garbage, right? It was obvious. You look at his YouTube channel, you look at his previous relationships, the red flags were all lined up. And she chose not to see them because she thought she was too good for those red flags. She was too good for the program. And there's a lot of things you can do to practice humility. Like, for example, I have an email in the description of my YouTube, and people can send me questions, and I just answer them. And I feel like I'm offering like mentorship in a way, and I don't have to. I could charge these people to contact me. I could do whatever I want, right? But I like just offering my help, and there's nothing in return. It's not a transaction. It's really a humbling experience. I think it's really nice. And I love answering those questions. Like, to me, that gives me a lot of fulfillment. So you can try doing stuff like that, like volunteer, mentorship, or just giving anonymously. That's also another thing you can do. Or another thing you can ground yourself with, I guess, is if you have any yes men around you or people that walk on eggshells, tell them not to do that anymore. And so that way they can be honest with you. And another thing you can do is, if you don't know your situation you're in right now, like you don't know if you have a huge ego, ask like questions to people, the closest person to you right now. Ask them questions like, if there was something awful to tell me, would you tell me immediately? Or would you feel hesitation? Like, ask those type of questions to see if they're avoiding telling the truth to you because you don't have the ego, you don't have the confidence to handle it. And obviously, lastly, you can do service for people. So I think, again, that's an issue with my generation maybe, or I feel like it is. We always want to be in the spotlight. We are in the main character era type of thing. So we always want to be in the spotlight, but how about you help others for a change? Just lift up of others. Just help others because you want to give them the time of day. Like you give them your time of day. Like it makes so much sense in my head, but I can't make it make sense with my words, I guess. But giving people your time is actually such a nice thing to do. Like, can we take a second? Like, just doing something because you can, because you want, and not because you're getting something in return. That's just beautiful. That's like the purest kind of love, the purest type of thing you can do for someone. I don't know, give them your time. That's like the most precious thing you have, and you can just give it to them. I think that's sweet. So if you can, do acts of service. And maybe that's my love language, the act of service, so that's why I like promoting it so much. I think that's the one I get the most fulfillment for. And you can see like people appreciate it. And also I'm not saying you should do it because you want something in return, but most of the time if you do acts of service, people will return the favor when you need it as well. So I think there's nothing to lose while doing this. You're gonna feel fulfilled, and a bonus is they'll help you back for something else. So yeah, what do you ladies think? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you ladies in the next video. And don't forget to tell me the topics you want me to cover if there's any, okay? Alright, see you guys. Bisous. Bye bye.